Hey y'all, this your girl Brittany from Brittany Beck Creations, back with another one for you today. So, um, I'm gonna need y'all to tell me what the hell is going on these days, okay? What is going on? I literally feel like I'm in a world of caricatures, literally caricatures. I, I just, what happened to originality these days? Child, Lord have mercy. I feel really sad for this generation of today. It's like, I know with me coming up, when I was a kid, we were free to be creative. We were free to be kids. You know, we got to be creative. It's like nowadays, um, it's like things that should come natural ain't natural no more. You know, and I attribute that to, you know, what people are putting in their minds. It's like there's a lack of leadership now these days. Lack of leadership from the people that should, you know, be in those positions. To people are just not doing their job. Okay, parents is not parenting. Religious leaders are not parenting, or not really religiousing. You know, let's say government leaders are not leadering, if you want to say that. It's just not giving anymore. And I would even say, even with you know, when you enter the spiritual community, and I'm just gonna give a huge umbrella to spiritual community. It's not really so much about the actual religion or whatever tool you're using, because anybody can, you know, use their intention for good or bad. You know, no matter what you believe in, what beliefs you follow, or whatever. You know, throw all of that out the window, and you can choose to use those different things to either be a detriment to yourself and the environment around you, or you could use it to your betterment and the betterment of the environment around you. That's what it is at the end of the day. You know, and so for me, it's not even so much about what you exactly, well, it is about what you believe in. It's not even so much about the religion. You know, you mostly have to follow what works for you, you know, as a person, for your own betterment at the end of the day. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. So anything that restricts you as far as your personal growth, maybe that's not just for you at all, you know, because what's going on is that you have all of these people that are in these leadership roles, such as, you know, that we put all these people on pedestals. You know, we forget that they're human beings, and they have their own, you know, everybody has a devilish side. Everybody has a, you know, an angelic side, you know. It's the yin and yang, the polarities of both versions of yourself. You can choose to either be in the dark, or you can move and live in the light. Either or. But the world we live in is so covered in dark, you know? It's so covered and immersed fully in dark. There's an extreme imbalance that I'm seeing on an extreme, you know, level. I see that there is so much of a deficit when it comes to children being able to be children. They can't even do that no more, because now they're in adult situations, having to adult, you know, at an early age when they don't have the tools to adult, you know, because the adults are not adulting and parenting the way that they should, you know. And so, you know, they're kind of left on their own. So therefore, if they're left on their own, they have to now grow up which means they have to basically abandon who, their kid selves. They have to pretend and put on these masks and all that just to survive and get by. Oh, in order for me to, move this way, or in order for me to be able to survive here, I'm going to have to go ahead and assume this identity. What you're doing is basically creating all these fractured identities within one person, and they don't have an identity. They lose their identity. They don't even get a start. They don't even get any type of good start. It's like they don't even get blessed with just a tidbit of being able to know what that feels like. So that's the sad part about it. That's one gamut. And then you have the breakdown of, of all of our, leadership in almost every aspect of our society. You can't even, when it comes to the religious, moral aspect, that's completely corrupted. And I'm not going to say that it's for, that every, religious, group or whatever is completely corrupt. There are some good ones out there. But on the macro level, on a large scale, we have large scale corruption in that area. Let's just be very honest about that. Even, you venture outside of just, your organized religion. You have these different, break off spiritualists and so forth, whatever their combination of tools may be. You want to combine all of the, we do this, we follow ancestors, we believe in da-da-da-da. That's great. That's wonderful. Like I stated before in the beginning, is that whatever spiritual tools that you believe in and follow in, you can use those things either for good or bad, And what I'm seeing is that on a large scale, people are just choosing to be corrupt at the end of the day. And you can't really blame them, because when you have the higher and in the highest levels of leadership in almost every aspect of our society, we're gonna branch off even to the schools. We're gonna branch off to our health institutions. We're gonna branch off to different government agencies, enforcements. All of that is completely corrupted. Yes, there are some good ones, but now, like I stated before, we are so steeped in so much deep doo-doo at this point. It's hard not to get messy in it. It's hard for people not to get tempted, because at the end of the day, if this is the law of the land, and you're trying to survive, it's about a game of survival, in this whole thing. And you can't blame people for having to, at the end of the day, choose survival of the fittest. And that's what that is. It's the Hunger Games societies, that we live in today. And so you can't really blame people for exactly choosing that, because this is the rubric, the structure of the society you live in, So with that being said, I want to encourage people who, if whatever tools that you're using, because it takes a lot of guts and it takes a lot of strength to continue to be authentic and be true to yourself, to choose you and to choose to do the right thing, to try to do right by yourself and do right by others. Because as you see, is that as you do right by yourself, as you continue to choose yourself every time, what you do is pull off another layer of the core of who you really are, and what you're doing is that, because at this point you are dealing with people who have been so fractured. They've been completely and entirely fractured and, traumatized, whatever you want to call it, PTSD to the 9th power, 20th power, all of that. And, you have people that are just tired, of getting the short end of the stick. So would you blame them for, having to take the dark side? I'm not condoning by any means any of it, but when you look at the reality of the situation, you can't just understand just the good only. You got to understand the bad as well. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people who are very magnetic, who have a strong light within them, even just because they may carry a strong light, there's an extreme that comes with that as well. that folks that have gone to the extreme on the other in the dark side, the reason they're able to hold that strong light is because they've been, through the walk on the wild side, on the extreme dark end of things, So with that being said, it's like you can't really feel joy entirely if you haven't suffered a great deal, If the whole power behind everything is that, it's not so much of just being strong or whatever when things are good and things are wonderful, but it's a matter of being strong going through whatever you're going through and not allowing it to fracture and destroy you in the process. Yes, you will have battle wounds. Yes, you will have those moments where, again, with extreme lightness, with bringing that light, you've had to, again, we're steeped in this world of darkness. We're steeped in mental illness thoroughly, And our minds have been played with. Our minds and the people that came before us have been played with. And you got to think, with each generation, the programming, the tampering of our minds, through each level of it. So one person, one generation may have, they've been tampered with or whatever, but they do have something, they still have some resonance and residues of who they are. Now, you bring on the next generation who is now going off whatever little residue that previous generation may have had. And now you strip that all from them. They had nothing. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm an advocate of, holding that light. No matter how dark life may seem, no matter what walk of life you come from, no matter where you've been, you have been placed at this particular time, at this particular era, to hold that light, because now that's starting to become an extinction level event. Holding the light, they're trying to extinguish that light. It's an extinction event. And only the strongest will be able to carry that light. And you will have to be brave enough. Because, again, when you're completely double dipped, drenched, and all of this muck that's all around us, all of this insanity, even when it comes to the highest levels of our government, on every level, it's like, what's going on is that we have nothing but psyop after psyop after psyop, double, triple dipped in psyop on every level. Sometimes what you think you don't know nothing about. It's an illusion steeped within an illusion. So this is why I'm to the point where, I'm an advocate for being open-minded. Sometimes you cannot be gun-ho on just one belief system. You see what I'm saying? Because you may find out later what you thought was true, what you're basing your whole life on, it may not be what you think it is. And sometimes it takes ripping the Band-Aid off of certain things. This is like a mindset. Even this is now referred when you have these different, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, that just as you age, as you get older, things that you believed or got into when you were a child, that changes as you get older, as you become an adult, as you move into whatever stages of life you're in, those things change. And the same thing, at least for me, I apply as far as, belief systems. It applies that same way. I've seen people who have literally bound themselves. They've literally bound themselves from living life and being able to truly be who they are because of these restrictive belief systems, And I'm all about, freeing your mind. sometimes you're going to have to reassess some of the things you believe in. But there's also a thing of you don't need to, sometimes you can't hold too tight to, commit, this has to be the only way. Because what that does, it can keep you trapped. But also I'm an advocate of, there's sometimes, this is why I don't debate. I don't do religious debates with whatever people believe in, because you also don't know, what's holding them together at that certain point. You don't always know what people are going through, what they're facing. And what may work for you, it may not even be, it ain't even a program for that person. Your mind, how you're programmed is not how that person is programmed, And their level of growth or whatever at that time, y'all are probably on two different, I may be going in 3, 5, 6 different directions. Everybody has their own personal blueprint designed for them, for their own lives. And it's only between them and God, or whatever they believe in, whoever they believe in. It's their business, and not any of your business about how are they cling on to whatever their belief systems are, And it's a thing of, when you stay true to yourself and you honor yourself, you know what works for you. And at the end of the day, no matter what anybody's outside input is, whatever, noise you're hearing as, trying to break through your barrier or whatever, just look at it as just noise. You know the answer. You know what you need to do at the end of the day. And if it takes you being quiet, if it takes you tuning out the noise, if it takes you, because right now we're surrounded by media, all types of, technology or whatever. And it's, these are all, at the end of the day, major distractions. And on top of that, like I stated before, this is all a part of major psyops or whatever, because it's about trying to control your mind. You have the thought police that are now coming into play these days now, where you can't have a single thought of your own, It's about controlling, people's minds. And it's always been about that from the very start. This is why I stated before, the whole reason about not really clinging to any certain belief sets, because it changes as your needs and as your growth, however it moves you. Whatever your purpose, you may have outgrown certain things. So you therefore now adopt a new set of beliefs that fit within that growth. You feel me? So that's what it's about these days. This is why I don't also get into, I don't really get into, you have a lot of people that are spiritual leaders or whatever, and people, again, they put these people on pedestals. At the end of the day, they're human, and you got to think like this though. If somebody sees a opportunity to have a come up in some way, like I said it before, you have that little devil on your shoulder and you have the angel on your shoulder, and you have a choice to choose either one. And when you give a person too much power and so forth, and and put them on a infallible pedestal, you set them up for for defeat. They're going to fail you. At the end of the day, you have to take that into account. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket expecting somebody to be the all end all be all. You need to basically at the end of the day have whatever religious practice, spiritual practice that you have, learn those principles, and actually apply them to your life. Use them. Not just be sitting there trying to learn somebody is telling you whatever, Apply those different systems from those beliefs and apply them to yourself. Start following them and apply them to yourself and figure out, just like other people can, I received a transmission or a download, I received a download from my ancestors and the Lord told me, I had a dream. All the clairs. See, Everybody has access to those specific things. But like I stated before, some people have, however your blueprint is set up, however your blueprint is set up for yourself, that is embedded within your DNA. However, God, whoever, whatever. As long as the devil telling you to go and, and off people or whatever, and harm people. But it's about you tuning in and having your own spiritual walk, your own one-on-one spiritual walk where you can identify and know beyond a shadow of a doubt what you're supposed to be doing. Not what, Frankie down that way wants you to do, or Sister Beverly, or Dr. da-da-da-da-da. Just like even when you go to the doctor, you basically these days almost have to play your own doctor. You know what ailments and aches you feel, and you have to even be discerning with that because, and I'm going off on a little tangent though, but you have to even be discerning with medications that they give you these days because they're laden with lots of, things that are not good for you that cause other, conditions to happen. And in the healthcare field, it's a business. It's about making extra money. So at the end of the day, folks are getting paid, to push out certain meds for certain, pharmaceutical companies. Blah, blah, blah. Yickety yak. Y'all know how it go. So you even have to be also careful with your health. You can't just, you have to basically, how your body feel. You know what your body is telling you. You know what I'm saying? When you tuning in, it's the same thing. On a spiritual level, if you get that same knowing, if feeling, your intuition starts to speak loudly because again, the intuition is embedded within your DNA. Y'all ain't stupid. I just challenge people to start going back and whatever you're being told, don't be afraid to look into it. Don't be afraid to, to find the opposing information. Look at all sides of it. Use your own eyes, your own calculation as to what you sum things up to be based off what you're seeing for yourself, not what somebody else is telling you. And make your decisions. Or otherwise, y'all gonna end up going, being extinct like the dodo birds. How do you think they went extinct? We don't, we don't have to go the dodo bird route. And it's okay that, it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. Everybody has been given the opportunity to have some good sense if you use it. And if you have to be ostracized because you're being original, you're being real, then so be it. Do what you got to do to handle your business and survive out here because, again, we all understand this is a world steeped in mental illness and corruption. So you got to do what you got to do to get by. I'm not, not mad at the player that's, that's doing their thing or whatever, not mad at those people. But don't be kind out here. Don't be, everybody makes mistakes and all of that, but don't be afraid to hold that light. So with extreme darkness comes extreme light at the same time. Be brave enough to hold that light. And yes, we all get battered and we fall down, we get jacked up, but pick yourself up and try again and try something different. Try another way. And see, this is why, because again, like I said it before, I do not, people out here weird, okay, weird as hell, especially in these social media streets. Hell, no, people are weird as hell. And, for me, it's just be the lack of creativity, the lack of, that people not being able to go to that childlike energy, don't have it. Some people never really got the luxury of experiencing it. And then some people, they've had it beat out of them so bad, they don't even know where to start. And this is where you have the birth of the narcissist. I mean, can you blame them? This is the world we're in. This is what we're ruled by. These are the people that's running the highest echelons of society. This is what's going on. So, I mean, it's just a reflection of what's going on the large level. And our job as people who are, If you have the light, you have the understanding and the wisdom. Take care of yourself first. Don't try to save nobody else. You save yourself. Okay? Save yourself. Take care of you. You be the living example of what it is to still have that energy. That's the thing. People be killing me though. They think that you're supposed to just because you are grown and you're an adult that still have that childlike energy. That's the thing. Our world and all of that thing, the plants and things around us, all of the beautiful things around us have come from people who have learned how to, or have had the opportunity to be in their childlike nature. Just because you're in your childlike nature doesn't mean that you don't take. It doesn't mean that you don't stop and take care of your business. It's about knowing how to properly adult, but you can still have heaven on earth. You don't have to be, creating all kinds of, chaos. Chaos brings nothing but destruction, and chaos ain't nothing but hell. Now, at the same time, chaos, when there's a problem, when there's an infection, when there's a cancer, chaos is needed to be able to go in, cut in, make the incision, cut out all of the rot or whatever, and it's going to be painful to heal from it. But at the end of the day, the whole point is to be healed. And, everybody goes through things. Everybody suffers, We all suffer. It's not like something like it's a separate phenomenon. But the problem is that we suffer in silence or whatever, and everybody's pretending and putting all these caricatures, And it's crazy. This is why, like I said before, I be protecting my energy. I don't be wanting to be around these weird people, because I'm like, everybody's sitting there. It's like I feel like I'm watching Alice in Wonderland, Johnny Depp, when he plays the Mad Hatter, and then he's captured by the Queen of Hearts with the big head, whatever. And so she has such a big head, all her constituents around her wearing these, these pieces of mask, over exaggerating different parts of their body. Somebody might have a mole, so they may have a mask that accentuates the mole, or somebody may have a mask that accentuates their cheek. Everything look oversized. It's caricatures. And when I see people, the personas are caricatures. It's like over dramatic and over perform. Oh my God! It's a lot of acting and pretending, and it's a lot of it's a lot of it's. I'm like, y'all need some rewards for being fake, because it's so obvious. It's just it's overly displayed. It's over performative, theatrical act that I see. I'm like, oh my, I was like, because I know what that is. I see it. I just don't want to participate in it. I politely decline any and all of that. I'm sorry. I just can't don't want to do it. The pretending and it's acting. It's acting. Too much acting going on. I'm like, oh my God. Woo. Lord have mercy. That's just, I'm like, well, it sounds like we all deserve a personal reality show or something, I guess. I suppose. But that's all I see. So I'm just like, the motivation, I pass. I will do a hard no to that. So that's why I say, those who hold the light, work on feeding your mind, and whatever belief systems that you use those. Feed your mind with positivity, positive things to build you, that encourage expression. Don't be afraid to go into that childlike nature. Don't be afraid to laugh. Don't be afraid to make a fool of yourself. I say this all for me. when I go and I sing, I don't care if I sound good, if I sound bad. I'm having fun. And it's the pursuit of just having fun along the way. Just have some fun. It ain't gotta be perfect. You don't have to be performative, you know? And there's a place for, you know, suffering and so forth. And if you're in a space of suffering, use that creativity, use those expressions, because there's something about pain that allows the rawness and the perfection, because sometimes you have to feel in order to make something beautiful. There's a lot of, you can be very technical and all of that, but star power doesn't come with just technicality. Star power comes with realness or rawness. And when you channel that pain through whatever creative tool that you're using, you make magic, because what you're doing is transmuting that pain. You're doing live transmutation. Live transmutation of energy. And when you do that, what comes out of you, that gold that comes out of you, that is the amalgamation of all that you went through, the lessons you've gone through, who you are. It is the unveiling and the peeling away of all that, the fake mask, the caricature. Now you take that caricature of a mask off. And what you see, just like you see how the flowers and nature is made, the beauty and the natural, just the natural way of things being, the energy is palpable, it's powerful, it's strong and unbreakable. But it takes you transmuting that pain. And then because you've been in a dark place, because you've been there, you've lived there for a while. And it's always something that's going to be a part of you. But if you haven't had that pain, you wouldn't know what true joy feels like. You wouldn't know what real light feels like. You wouldn't know that, because that pain, it pushed you up, it pushed you through, it gave you the power, the strength to not and know everything that comes your way. But you have the power to break that through, reach through, punch through it, work your way up through it, burn all that is not you away. And that is why, when you use your power properly, because again, you're in a world that is steeped in mental illness, corruption, just all manner of filth. That pain, that is basically your steering wheel, that is your temperature gauge. It's too hot, too cold, and it basically teaches you how to move in the dark. Night vision. Okay? So it's also a lesson to even light bearers. Don't be afraid of the pain. Those who hold that light, sometimes the bigger the light that you have within you, the more opposition. And those who are carrying that light, it's because you learned to punch through. You learn how to work through it. And it's about a mental thing. It's a mental programming. You're going to have to prepare yourself mentally to stand alone. Sometimes people think that by abandoning you, that it's supposed to break you. But when the distractions are removed and you're able to sit with yourself and you become acquainted on that dark and that light, you get to look that demon in the eye, that pain in the eye, you figure out that is the truth. And the truth will set you free. And when you do the work, use that pain, transmute it through the power of your gifting, whatever your gift is. Some people may have the gift of the gab. Okay? You have the power to use it for right, for wrong. And we live in the world of duality. Okay? So you might need to, you got to dibble and dabble and whatever. Because you're moving, you're in a sick world. You're surrounded by snakes. You might have to move a little bit but know when to use it and how to use it. You don't use your power to destroy innocent people. But you use that power effectively. Know when to use it. Bring that light. And know when to chop. Cut through illusion. Okay? Cut through illusion. Nonsense. Okay? That's what it's all about. Okay? But also, be able to transcend certain mindsets, certain belief systems as you need. Do not put these people on a pedestal, because just like as they have the power to lead, do whatever, and to influence, you have to believe that much in your own power. That, as you know, you are the all in all be all when it comes to your life. Use people as an example. See how they do what they do. But don't put them on no pedestal. Because everybody out here human. Everybody having their experience or whatever. Allow people grace. But don't be nobody's fool. Okay? Don't be nobody's. There's a lot of people that's out here conning. Majorly, And that's what they do. This is the world we live in. Just saying. Okay? But yeah. Be an example. Don't try to change nobody. Just be the example. Live your life. And you got to take a break sometimes. And fill yourself back up. Fill your own cup. Take time to take care of you. That is how you hold that light. That is how you shine that light brightly. That is how you provide poetic justice to all your opposition that's coming to you. It's about when you know that something ain't healthy for you. Do you sit there and go back and forth for whatever is unhealthy? Or do you take your scalpel knife, do the incision, and cut it out your life? And that's all to it. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all right now. Y'all keep shining bright. Do you. Okay? Bye.